So we are going to learn gRPC concept today. So this is we can say advanced concept of the Golang. So this is this is of course not for the beginner, but we use the gRPC in a microservices architecture. So let's try to understand what is the gRPC, and we'll see a very basic gRPC servers example, and it will give the idea how this is gRPC is working. So when microservices want to talk to each other, then we see like we have used REST API in most of the time. So we can also use the gRPC. So gRPC is faster than REST API. So in a distributed microservice architecture, this is very the fast. gRPC is very fast. So in order to try to understand, let's say in a one of the application, like let's say you want to get some info, then you need the API, and in the API you pass some parameter in a URL, and then you get that info based on that parameter. So that API will be used by one microservice, and that API exists in another microservice. So both they communicate with the REST API. So for the similar purpose, we have the gRPC. So gRPC is a modern open source high performance remote procedure called RPC framework that run on any environment. It can be efficiently connect to the services. You can give the most detail here. You can understand from here, and also you can see the difference. Like gRPC is a fast and the rest is slow. gRPC use the protobuf. It's a very small data, and it's a JSON. It's a big data. So that's you can see the difference between these two. Yeah. So in order to proceed with gRPC, you need to install few things in your system. One of these thing is this one, Go Proto C Jane. This gRPC. This is the way to install. And if you want to, once your server is start, then you can test this server through gRPC UI. So here, when we run this, then you can see in the UI, and you can pass some parameter like the postman. In a postman, if you call some API, you give the API name, and then you can pass the parameter, and you can get the result back. So we are going to use this UI for the gRPC test. So let's see the code. Yeah, so before starting gRPC, make sure you have installed this protobuf. So this is the command to install the protobuf, and then we have already seen this. We have to install this too also, Go gRPC, and this is the way to generate the gRPC code. I will tell you what is this and what is the meaning of this dot. And then we have to also install the client. So it's a brew install gRPCUI, and whatever the server or whatever the port the server is utilizing, you can use the same port in a gRPCUI, so that you can pass the parameters, send the request, and get the response. So this is the file, the pvgo and book gRPC. This is auto generated file. So let me delete this, and I will generate again. So these two files will be generated based on book proto. So we'll see the book proto, and this is the service. Service name is book. So there is a one service book, and in this book service, I'm calling like get book info. So this is the function. When I call get book info, then in our code we write the logic, how to get the book info based on some request, and it's going to returns. So this is kind of a schema, and this and when we auto generate the code, then we'll utilize the auto-generated code, and then we can write our own function to write our logic. Like let's say for the get book info, you want to write the logic, like you want to get the data from database or add some operations over there, and you can do that. For the simplicity, I'm not going to use any database now. Whatever we pass, like book request info, we are passing some name from book name, and it's going to return name, author, and the publisher. So this is the schema. So we can start the protobuf like this, extension.proto, and I created a package. Inside package there is a proto and there's a book proto. Go package is saying based on this schema, generate some gRPC code, and then generated code will be in this place, package proto. So this is package proto. So inside this the code will be generated, and here giving 1 2 3, it should be always unique when you add the new variables here. This will be helpful when we serialize and deserialization happen when we call gRPC API. So this is okay, this is protobuf done, and then based on that, let's generate the code first. So from the readme I can call this, and as soon as I run, you can see that the file got generated. In a proto-C, we have already installed proto-C, that's why this running. In a proto-C, we're saying go out and go gRPC out. So for these two files, and where these files will be generated in a current folder, that's why I have given the dot, and input it's taking from here. So book proto. So book proto is package proto, book proto. So your installation is, if your installation of this proto-C and proto is done and it's good, then there will be no output here and the file will be generated successfully. If there is any error in this proto file, then it will complain here. If I like miss semicolon or something, you will get that error. So that's good. We generated the gRPC code also. Let's utilize this code. So in a router, if you go to the router, there are a few import here. This is the PB. This is our package here, and so that's package I have given just PB for the protobuf. So our auto-generated code is inside this. We need to import gRPC reflection here. Okay, so let's see. I declared one server struct, and in the server struct I call the PB book server. This book server we are getting from auto-generated code. So in a book proto we have a service name book. So based on this book, that book server got generated. So you can go here and you can see, if I click, so that's I added. So, and you can get the idea from here, like the service is book. So at the end we can add server. So we generate the code, then book server will be already there. So that's why I put it here, and this is interface. So book server is an interface. So if you go inside this book server, so book gRPC PB go, book gRPC PB go. So this is the interface, and inside this you can see get book info. This is our function we added here, like book proto, get book info. So get book info is here, and this is the interface, and this is not implemented. So we have to implement this, and we have to put our own logic. Say come back to this place, we added this, and then we are creating the new server, and then we need to call this serve gRPC. So in a serve gRPC, it's going to listen at port 9901. We can pass this from the main also, but for the simplicity, just I'm putting the this port here itself. We need to create a new server, so gRPC new server, and then from the PB, like PB is this our proto stuff. So from the PB we can do register book server. So this is again when PB, if you do the dot, it will come register and what you want to register. So this is based on your proto. So in your proto there is a one book, then based on the book you can guess register book server, and here you can pass G, and then you can pass object. So the server, this is a server where we put our book server, and we are passing that object here. Now we need to call these two functions. So I just copy these two functions from here. It's a get book info, this exactly same line I copy to this place. I just added one variable here, I added one variable here, and the PB here. So let me show you. If I copy this, come here and see that it's exactly same. Yeah, first I just added the variable, and here I added the request another variable, and everything is same. And this should be the part of server, because we pass that object here, and that's the interface. That's why we need this function here, and our logic goes to this place. And I have not added a lot of logic here, but for the simplicity, whatever I'm getting from a request, putting that in a response and returning that response. So I'm creating the response object, like see, get book info response, and then response, and then whatever the book name I'm getting from the request I put here, and the author I can put publisher Sam. So this will be the output, and we can return this. There was another function in interface, we just call this, do not add anything. So because every time you generate, if you do not put this, then every time you generate auto-generated code has this function, and you need to either delete from there or just leave it here. So I think it's good, leave it here for now. So that's all. The get book info, and we have the code here for register book server, and then reflection register G, and then serve listen. If there's any error, we can see this. So we can call this function in a main. Go to the main, and in a main I'm calling the object router new server, and then from that object I'm calling serve gRPC. Let's run this. Let me create another bash. Okay, go run and cmd my prj, then main.go. Okay, we are come out of this my project, and then run the command again. Okay, it's running, allows, it's running. Our gRPC server is running. Welcome to the gRPC world, and it's running at port 9901. Let's try to run the web UI. For this, we have already installed this gRPC UI, and then I can call this from the terminal. So from here, 9901 gRPC server was running here. So enter this, it will open another UI, and here in a service name it can populate all the service names. So I can go, this is our proto.book, and then I can see that I have added just only one function, get book info. That's why I got the get book info here. Then I can pass the name. So if I pass name and this sure and invoke, so that then it returned me the Nandeshwar and the Ram and Syam, whatever we added in the code. So this is a very basic example of this gRPC server. So that's all for today. Thank you.